Welcome to Baseball for Maniacs. Owen, I don't even want to do this intro. We talked so much shit about how good this USA team was. And not only did they slap us in the face and spit on us with the performances that they've put out, I don't even care that they got wins. Those performances were piss poor, and we scraped by against Mexico. If Brazil had any more momentum pitching wise, they may have won that game. So don't even get me started on that one. But Owen, I'm beyond pissed off. And honestly, it all starts with the way that this game was managed. And the comments made by Mark DeRosa have made me want to put holes in my wall. How are you managing like this?
So, how I found out about the infamous quotes, I didn't know about it before the game because I was busy yesterday. Turned on the game around 9. We're getting wrecked, and I'm just on Twitter, right, to see the reactions. And I see this one Twitter account post the video where he says, you know, tonight's important, but we already clinched our ticket to the quarterfinals. How on earth is the manager of the United States not understanding tournament rules? How do you let that happen? And what's crazier is people are going to say, well, they had to tell him in between the games, right? To where that once the game started, everyone knew they had to win, right? He didn't manage like it. Bryce Harper, and Ryan's going to get into that later in the episode, has been an absolute fucking dud, an absolute no-show. Coming off his stupid non-elite comments where he's like crying to Dave Dombrowski, oh, poor me, poor me. And then you come up and perform like this. Either way, Paul Goldschmidt should not have been in the starting lineup. Alex Bregman, who has played phenomenal. I get it. Gunnar Henderson's playing third. Ernie Clement's not good. I don't care what he did in the playoffs, his one run. He is a journeyman type of player. Why is he starting at second? I have no problem with Gunnar playing third because Gunnar Henderson's a star. He had 4 hits in his second game, and what does he do? He gets benched by Mark DeRosa. And it's just so infuriating to where it's like, yes, you could theoretically, logically, I'm sure someone told DeRosa in between the game, no, we haven't clinched, right? But the way he managed would say otherwise. And get this. Clayton Kershaw was warming up. That is bullshit. That is a slap in the face to you, me, everyone in the United States of America. I love Clayton Kershaw. Legend. Him being on the team, cool. Be a cheerleader. Be a pom-pom guy. Be a guy to come in an emergency. An emergency is not when you're down 4 runs. It's like, what are you doing? So I really do think he thought, even during the game was going on, that they clinched. And get this second quote pisses me off even more. He said, he was talking about after the game against Mexico, how, the boys were partying. It went from the clubhouse to the bus, and some guys were wearing it the next day. They were sluggish. What the hell were you drinking? And trust me, I love myself an adult beverage. I am not playing for Team USA. I am not playing in a must-win game for the United States of America. And when this tournament started, the whole hoopla was Dream Team. This is the mission. No. The Dominicans think it's their mission. The Dominicans are trying to win this. This means so much more than every single one in the United States of America, and they're showing it to where even if your dumbass manager doesn't think that it's a must-win game, you as a player, if you're Bryce Harper, if you're Aaron Judge, the captain, and we'll get into him, if he really is trying to win this tournament for the United States of America, they will know the rules. And it's just so infuriating that it's like, these guys don't care. These guys don't care to where it's like, I think if they get in, if they like pass through, we'll get in the scenarios with Mexico versus Italy, then I think it'll fuel them to where it's like they'll lock in. But the fact that you weren't locked in from the beginning of this tournament just pisses me off. Give me your thoughts on Mark DeRosa.
Mark DeRosa is a fucking moron, and he has no business managing Team USA after this abysmal run that this team has been on this WBC. I don't give a shit that we're 3-1. We should be 4-0 with the roster that we brought, the pitching that we brought. We didn't even bring up how bad Nolan McLean shit the bed. This
Shocker.
is supposed to be the guy that's going to be leading the Mets for years and years going into the future, and he can't even get through 3 innings of 1-run ball against Italy. Get the fuck out of here. And then you're going to bring in Ryan Yarborough, the Yankees' big acquisition. Come on, dude, get the hell out of here. He pitched okay in the game that you brought him in. What, after it wasn't the Mexico game, was it?
I don't know when he pitched, but
Either way, he didn't look terrible.
yeah, but he got lit up. Dude, Italy's top stars did, like Caglione did well. He was batting 7th for you.
Mhm.
Pasquantino did nothing, and they still lit your ass up. You are a major league pitcher. If you're getting killed by Italy, who we are rooting for tonight, kind of, but it's just like, dog, and then it just goes back to the whole philosophy of USA Baseball with the relievers. It's like, Mark DeRosa's in a tough spot to where major league teams are telling him what to do. Then don't show up, dude. Like, if you want baseball to grow, I don't care about that it's March. The Dominicans aren't caring about that. And the Dominicans are probably going to win because they have the philosophy.
And honestly, look, when we get into the individual players in a second, it's going to be kind of funny because I'm going to be going off on the guy that people think that you're going to be going off on, that being Bryce Harper, and you're going to go off on the guy that people think I'm probably going to be going off on, and Aaron Judge. But we both have things to say about both. I have things to say about everybody on this team. Not all of them are bad because the guys who aren't on tens of $1 million contracts have been playing out of their fucking minds. You mentioned Gunnar Henderson a lot. Roman Anthony has been phenomenal for this Team
Pete Crow
USA team.
Armstrong, 2 homers
Pete
last
Crow
night.
Armstrong. He had 2 homers. He had the clutchest home run of his life last night. He hit that home run and Bobby Witt was coming up. I was like, this is the time. This is when we're going to do it.
You would think, right? You would think the top 3, the Judge, and the Witt has played pretty well, especially on the defensive side. But he has not been the guy.
Great.
He needs to hit homers. Like, the singles are cool, but then again, Judge and Harper. And, like, Ryan, please talk about what an absolute shit show Bryce Harper has been in, and I'll piggyback off that.
Bryce Harper has done more to ruin his legacy in 4 games at the WBC than he's done building it in the last 15 years in the majors. And to be completely honest, it's been his own fault. Obviously, we've done a lot of talking. You've done a lot of talking specifically about Dombrowski and his comments about how he should keep his mouth shut. Maybe he was right. And it kind of gets to the point of Bryce where it's like, Bryce, you're what, 33, 34 years old? Why the hell are you acting like you're still 16 years old? You've been a pampered little pouty, spoiled bitch your entire career, and it is showing. You know what happened when the Nationals got rid of your ass? They won a World Series. And the only thing that's keeping Philadelphia away from winning a World Series is you. The way that you're playing right now, the way that you're acting right now, you don't want to win a World Series. You don't care. You want the stats. And you're swinging your ass off at pitches that aren't even in the zone. And the ones that are in the zone, you're completely underneath and behind. You're late. What the hell is wrong with you? This isn't the Bryce Harper that won the MVP a couple years ago. This isn't even close to the Bryce Harper that won the MVP in 2015. What exactly does Philadelphia have to look forward to now? Because is Wheeler healthy yet? Is he going to be ready to start the year?
April 20th is the estimated return.
All right, cool. So even then, the Phillies aren't at full strength going into opening day. And if Bryce Harper is coming in like this, and the guy you get rid of who you thought was the clubhouse cancer is actually putting up numbers in San Diego, and your star, your $300 million contract man, the guy who is supposed to be the final piece of the Phillies building philosophy to get them to the World Series, has not only shit the bed for the organization, he shit the bed for the entire country. And I know Aaron Judge is supposed to be the captain. Fuck that. We all were watching Bryce Harper this season. We were all watching Bryce Harper take at bats for Team USA because that's what everybody wanted to see. We all knew Aaron Judge was going to hit a home run, but everybody wants to see the Bryce home run. His swing's prettier. The home runs off of Bryce bats that are just that much cooler. And I would have loved to have seen it, but with the way that we're playing, we might not even be able to get that. And it's nobody to blame but Bryce Harper. I'm going to let you get into Aaron Judge in a second, but I'm going to let you, the Phillies fan, I assume you're heartbroken by the way that Bryce Harper has been playing this WBC.
So, yes, more pissed off because I think my soul died on October 24th, 2023 against the Diamondbacks. So the heartbreak's gone. It's more anger. What pisses me off more is the media tour that he's been on. If you're just not good anymore and Father Time has caught up to him, like, you just can't control that, right? Father Time eventually catches up to everybody. It might have caught up to Bryce Harper because this is his 15th year in the league. He's 33, to where technically still in his prime. Look at Schwarber, but the miles on the tires might have caught up to him. If he's just not good, cool. But the way he was talking, wearing the not elite shirt and going into spring training talking like, well, no, they just gave me that shirt. No. You had a calculated risk. You knew exactly what you were doing wearing that shirt. You love the media attention. And then you come to spring training and your first thing is to cry and bitch about what Dave Dombrowski said. Yeah.
I remember bringing this up a while ago, actually, when we first talked about the not elite stuff, when spring training people were first starting to report and stuff like that. I talked about how I thought this was going to be a problem for Philadelphia going into the season. And I don't mean to say that I told you so, but like, it seems like I was right.
Like in that moment, I don't think you were wrong because it's like, basically how he plays, how he handles that on the field determines if the way he acts is correct. Because you can talk a big storm, right? But if you're not producing, all your words mean nothing. Now, if Harper were to come in here and dominate against, well, granted, we're playing Great Britain, we're playing Brazil, we're playing Italy. How the hell aren't you dominating? Like, even if you're past your prime, these pitchers, Michael Lorenzen, love Michael Lorenzen. Phillies legend for the no-hitter. Has a great familia. They were in the crowd. Michael Lorenzen sucks, dude. Jesus Christ. Now, this isn't even a Bryce thing because Bryce came in a pinch hit, but it's just like, if you're, what's the word? Like, put your money where your mouth is, dude. To where if he would have dominated in USA, if he would have brought this into the season and it's like F. Dave Dombrowski, no one would rather be on the F. Dave Dombrowski tour than myself right now. I despise him, but he's making you look like a little bitch, Dave Dombrowski. He's looking like he's right. And it's just like, and then what really pissed me off to start the WBC is when he said, look, I love the WBC. It's not the Olympics. No. You know what, Bryce? The Olympics has every single sport competing with you at the same time. This is the one stage where baseball is the only ticket in town. It's March, right? To where the WBC matters more. And even if you feel like that, right? Because you can have your own opinion. Not the time, not the place. And all of this would have been, like, sworn away, like we wouldn't even thought about it, if Bryce Harper simply would have done his job. When he came up to pinch hit, I was like, this is his moment. This is his time to shut everyone up and put everyone back on Bryce Harper's side. Because if he would have tied the game or taken the lead with that homer, everyone's on his side. Now, dude, he gets scolded on Twitter every single game, and he should, because he's not doing his job. That's enough on Bryce Harper because, and it's so crazy because it's like, if they get through and they advance, like by a miracle, then he has a chance to redeem himself. But he might not get that opportunity. And it's not just Bryce Harper. It's Aaron Judge. And look, I think Aaron Judge is a great guy. I think he's a great pillar for this game. What he does in the community is fantastic. The narrative on Aaron Judge is when the moment shines bright as he is nowhere to be found. And you see that in his playoff performance with the New York Yankees. And everyone say his moment last year in the playoffs, they were down 2-0 against the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 3 at home. It was a 4th inning home run. That is not your moment. If that's your moment, you fucking suck, dude. And Aaron Judge is a great right-handed hitter. He is the best right-handed hitter of all time in the regular season. And he's hit well in this tournament. But when has he hit well? First inning homers when we're ahead, when the game's not close. He didn't do what Kyle Schwarber did against Great Britain. Jesus Christ. Like, look at what we're talking about, the competition. And then he had a chance after all this crap, after DeRosa failed him, after USA Baseball failed him, by the way they went into this game, he still had a chance to tie the game and hit a homer. What does he do? He strikes out. And it's like, this is your captain? This is your guy that's leading the charge? That is why we're losing. And it's like, the fact that they might not even have an opportunity to redeem himself, that's on them. Because if you can't get out of pool play, if you lost to the Dominican, Venezuela, or Japan, would it have sucked? Absolutely. It would have been so much less than Italy? And you know who Bryce Harper hit that fly ball to when he popped out in the 7th? Dante Nori. Love me some Dante Nori. What he's doing in the WBC is making me ecstatic for Phillies baseball because I think that kid is a big game player. I think he's a great, ball player. It's Dante Nori. What are we talking about? And it's just unbelievable. Tell me what you think about Aaron Judge. And it's Judge and Harper, and you see how all the media, they're best friends. Of course they're best friends. They're two superstars that when the moment shines brightest now, because Bryce Harper has playoff success that some people will never dream of, but that might be a flash in the pan, and it looks like it is. But give me your thoughts on Aaron Judge.
Before I get into Aaron Judge, I do want to touch on the Olympic comment that you made earlier about the comments that Bryce was making. Yeah, sure, it's not the Olympics, but you can't tell me who just won gold in Olympic level soccer, but I can guarantee you can tell me who won the World Cup in the last men's soccer, because the people watch the World Cup. They don't give a shit about Olympic level soccer.
No.
They care about the World Cup. I care about the WBC. With all due respect to the athletes, I'm not going to give a fuck about Olympic level baseball because I'm going to look forward to the WBC. This is what I look forward to every 3 years. There's nothing better than the WBC. The way that the Dominican is playing, the way that Venezuela is playing, the way that the Czech Republic is playing is showing why this game is so beautiful. And America is doing everything that they can to tarnish it. And our captain has done a fantastic job of doing so. Yeah, you hit a couple really cool home runs. You got the ball rolling in a game where we weren't even doing shit in the first place. Italy scored 8 runs before we even got one. Before we even
And
got
that's been a
one.
problem. We've talked about that on the last episode to where Brazil and Great Britain, they got off to slow starts to where if they pop one, they don't like build on it to where if that mindset was going to be against the Dominican, not Israel. Why the hell am I thinking about Israel? Venezuela, Japan. We were going to get screwed anyway. But the fact that we might not even have a chance to play them because of the way they've produced, and it's all the way they carry themselves, dude. The fact that they were partying after beating Mexico. Mexico is not good. I get it. It was a competitive game. Jaron Duran's a stud.
It
Randy
shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been a competitive game. Why the hell are we only winning by 2 runs against a team that doesn't have any major league pitching except coming out of the bullpen? We should have had 12 by the time we got into the 7th. Jaron Duran, sure, great performance. Go fuck yourself. Do that for the Red Sox. Don't do that for Team Mexico. Do that for me.
Yeah.
Don't do that for them.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I need that for Boston. And we can't even put up more than 5 runs against a team that, again, doesn't have major league caliber pitching. They don't. They haven't in a long time, probably since Zambrano. And it's just like what the fuck are we doing? Aaron Judge is supposed to be the captain of this team, and he hits he hits a lot of first inning home runs. All these first inning home runs, they're so cool to see. They go like 410 feet, and they look so cool coming off of a giant 6'7" bat. And he wears number 99. Nobody wears number 99. They only wear that on the defensive line in football. Shut up. Who gives a fuck? Aaron Judge has done nothing but be a 6'7" waste of space since he got on this Team USA. And I wanted him to be good. I wanted there to be a reason to like Aaron Judge, because for every reason I don't. He's a Yankee. He's the best hitter in baseball that isn't named Shohei Ohtani. And it's just, he's the second best player in the game. I want to have a reason to like him. But he's doing everything in his power to show that these rumors that he can't show up, it's true. He just can't do it. The Yankees would have had a World Series by now. There's no reason that the Yankees shouldn't have a World Series with the team that they had. Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge as a 1-2 punch offensively and pitching-wise. There's really nothing better in the game, especially when Cole was in his prime coming off of that year that he had in Houston where he won like 18 straight starts. That was ridiculous. And they got him in that prime. Aaron Judge is supposed to be in his prime. His prime is ending. He's not that much younger than Bryce Harper is. And to be completely honest, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to see it from Aaron Judge because, yeah, Father Time is undefeated, but he really beats the shit out of these bigger guys. We've seen what happened with Giancarlo Stanton. We see it in the NBA all the time with these big 6'8", 6'9", 7-footers. They always end up with knee problems, ankle problems. And then in the big leagues, I always end up with back problems, shoulder problems, hip problems. I don't want to see that for Aaron Judge. This might be the one time that he can be able to come out here and do something for Team USA because, again, he's in his early to mid-30s. He doesn't have that much time left. His prime is almost done. People are not understanding that people's primes are different these days. This isn't like back in the 2000s where you can have your prime in like 36 to 39. That doesn't happen anymore. You got to have your prime from like 28 to 32, especially in an athletic situation. Aaron Judge is it. That's like you said. He's probably the best right-handed hitter to ever do it. He's probably going to go down as one of the best home run hitters of all time, if not the best home run hitter of all time. And I wanted him to have a legacy for Team USA. I wanted him to be somebody that we could look back on and be like a David Wright, where it's like we have all these fond memories. And it's like you, even as a Phillies fan, you have fond memories of David Wright on Team
posted him
USA.
today. I said, Judge and Harper take notes, and it's David Wright hitting a moonshot in the WBC. Because it's like, on the Nolan McLean point, before we get into Italy, there's not one guy I would want to root harder for because they have the USA on their hat, but they have the USA on their chest. He shit the bed. And I don't put that on DeRosa because you can only get who's starting for you, right? You can only get the guys that commit. But it's just like, I think it was just the mindset going into where it's just like they didn't think they had to win the game. And that's just such a level of ignorance that Mark DeRosa, one, I don't think he should ever manage the United States again. If they win it, maybe you bring him back. But it's just like,
No.
the carefree, like, it just pisses me
I'd
off.
rather have Dave Roberts be the manager of Team USA than
'Cause
Mark DeRosa.
He sucks as a manager. Now, granted, he's won a few championships. He's made last year's
How are you gonna not win a World Series with that roster, though?
exactly. But you can't tell me David Roberts was never prepared. Like, he always knew the situation. Like, maybe it was the wrong move of who he put in, who he did, whatever. He still knew the situation. So that's just unbelievable. Now, let's get into Mexico versus Italy. If the United States somehow gets through and they survive and they get to the quarterfinals, I think they can use this as fuel. I think this is like their get out of jail free card. The fact that they need a get out of jail free card is ridiculous. I have tickets to the WBC final. I bought those 2 days ago. Granted, if the United States does not make it, I'm just gonna sell them and not go. Like, I'm not gonna go see Dominican put on 10 runs against, Italy or something. Because the way it's lined up, they're gonna have to face either Venezuela or Japan in their pool before they even get to the final. So if it's Dominican versus whoever else, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I'm not spending $500 on that. But there is still a chance the United States gets in. So Italy versus Mexico. Let's get in the scenarios of how USA can advance. If Italy wins straight up, United States advances. They're the second seed out of the pool. Mexico's 2-2. USA's 3-1. Simple math. But Mexico can still beat Italy, but they have to score 5 or more runs. It's a weird runs you give up divided by as many outs as you're playing. It's weird. It's dumb. I don't even know, but that's the rules, right? To where you play based on tournament rules. I'm sure you've played in so many baseball tournaments to where it's like, it makes no freaking sense, but that's what you signed up for when you put your team into the tournament. So it's just going to be so weird watching the game today because we have our beloved Aaron Nola on the mound. Who would have thought when we were talking about the WBC that the fate of the United States was in Aaron Nola, who is an American who is pitching for Italy? He's never been to Italy, but it's so funny how it lines up. But get this, if he shoves and Italy wins, awesome. But if he gets blown up, which is very possible based on his production last season, that also can play in the favor. Because if Mexico scores 5 runs, like if Aaron Nola gives up a 5 spot, USA is in regardless. To where it's just going to be so weird watching it. But I don't know. Give me your thoughts. I'm sure you're going to be glued into Mexico versus Italy, which that game got moved to FS1, not the Tubi crap, whatever that thing's on. And I'm upset because I really want to see the Dominican versus Venezuela because that's a big game in the sense of whoever loses has to play Japan in the quarterfinals. So that's a big game, but our eyes are going to be glued to Mexico versus Italy, and it should have never gotten to this point.
Vamos Italia. That's honestly the best thing I could say right now. Give me the espressos. I'm gonna play Bella Ciao as soon as we get off the podcast here. I'm gonna lock into my Italian mode. I'm gonna go get some pasta for dinner. I'm gonna play Mario Kart. I'm gonna be full blown Italian. I'm gonna watch The Sopranos. I'm gonna go put grease in my hair. I'm gonna go cross the street and go, hey, I'm going straight Italian today. They have to win. I don't want to see Mexico in the lead. If Mexico's in the lead, I'm gonna be scared.
Well, if it's
And,
5
and it's
nothing, we're
just
good. They just need to score 5.
yeah, but that's the thing, and it really just comes down to how well Aaron Nola is gonna play today. If he shoves and only gives up 1 run, it comes down to Italy's fragile bullpen.
Who
But
they
if
used a lot last night. They used their best guys last night. So Italy's bullpen's gonna
yes,
be
they
shot.
did, which means they could be cooked.
It's
But
it's almost like if they're
oh,
gonna
and
be yeah.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think Team USA is cooked. I don't I understand where you're coming from, and you're trying to be like a glass half full optimist when it comes to USA being possibly gifted this shot to get into out of pool play and get into the actual tournament where it matters. I don't think. I think we're just. I think
What
if we get another shot at Italy, we might go crazy.
oh, we will.
But I don't.
But it's
I truly don't believe that we're gonna do anything if we get into the quarterfinal stages.
and they have no one else to blame but themselves because it's like they put themselves in this situation. If they if they get through, I think they will use it as fuel, but it's just so unbelievable because nothing has been more lined up for them to win the championship than this WBC. The way the quarterfinals are playing, the fact that they wouldn't have to play Japan or Dominican to the championship game, and then they don't even get out of pool play, it's just unfathomable. Mark DeRosa will lose, and it doesn't even matter because like he manages once every 3 years. He's not really losing his job, but it's like this was the quote unquote dream
Fuck
team.
him. Who cares? He fucked it up.
Absolutely, but it's a quote unquote dream team, and it's like this is if they would have lost the Dominican, like it would suck, but it'd be understandable. But the fact that this is your best shot,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean it's just gonna be it's so frustrating. I don't. It's gonna be so weird watching this game because it's like we should have never been in this situation. It's a embarrassing look for United States baseball. It's despicable. It shows that we might not be the top dog because it's like what the
Oh
Dominican is doing. You
my
think
god.
Japan would ever forget the rules? You think they build for this crap their entire life,
Dude,
train when they're 12 years old in an academy for 8 hours a day, but we are partying after beating Mexico. Mexico is not good. They are not a good baseball team. Their lineup is fine. They got a lot of big league players, but you said they're pitching. They have no pitching to where we only put up 5 against them? Are you kidding me? And then Michael Lorenzen shoved. He's pitching for the Rockies, dude. He got a 1-year deal from Colorado. He's not a good major league pitcher, and you let him shut down in one of the biggest games of your entire USA baseball run. It's pathetic. It's despicable, but there's still a chance for us to be raising the trophy, but we're going to need some help.
this is gonna be the most Mickey Mouse fucking WBC if we win it. Cause I don't know, dude. It's like I'm not excited anymore. It's like if we win it, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we should have. You shouldn't have scared me
I'll
in
be
the first
pumped
place the way
still.
that you did.
I'll be pumped because it's like they still went 3-1. And now, granted, that shouldn't be the standard.
The shitty 3-1.
True, but the standard should be 4-0 excellence, right? Because that's what you presented to us when you brought the players you brought in. 3-1 still is pretty good in the sense of like 3-1 gets in any other pool. So it is a tough situation, but it's Italy, it's Mexico, it's Great Britain, it's Brazil. Your pool was not that good. It lined up that way, but you should have known that was a possibility because Brazil and Great Britain are so bad to where you knew those teams were going to beat up on those teams to where it's like you had to go 4-0. And it's just like the fact that this wasn't even discussed before, like with the DeRosa thing, because when you go into a tournament, you should know everything that's going on. And I also blame MLB Network because I love MLB Network. It's not what it used to be, but it's still very good. The fact that Harold Reynolds or Matt Vasgersian didn't have the balls to correct Mark DeRosa in the sense of like live TV about the thing about having your shot locked in for the quarterfinals. Shame on you guys because you care more about your friendship and your political ties in the sense of like, the job market or whatever instead of the goal of the United States. If it was like a Dominican MLB network, which it isn't but if there was like a talk show talking about that and one of the manager made a mistake, they would have called him out right away. Not in a disrespectful way, in a way like, hey, buddy, no, that's not the game. Like, let's understand the rules. They would have done it respectfully. MLB Network didn't do that. That's a shame on them. That's a shame on the entire USA baseball community. And because it's posted to MLB Network, but it didn't make its way to Twitter until like obviously during the game to where it's like, we didn't even have a chance as a community to blast it out. We blasted it out in the sense of like when the game was going on, when everything was already done. We were down 8-0. We didn't even get the chance to save our own manager, and that is not our job. We are podcasters. We are not managing the United States of America. So it pisses me off, dude. But we still have a chance.
No, we don't.
No,
No,
don't
no,
do
no.
that. Don't do that.
Dude, with the way that the DR is playing and the way, like, I know we weren't even worried about Japan, but even the way that Japan is playing, dude, I'm so not confident anymore that if we get in and if we get to the championship game, it's a fucking Cinderella story to me. This team has done nothing but disappoint me. This reminds me of the 2004 Olympic team before they had the Redeem team and they were supposed to win gold but won bronze. I'm not trying to be a team that doesn't get into out of pool play. I want to be a team that at least medals in the WBC. We're the United States of America. This is America's pastime. We have no business being in the bottom tier of the world when it comes to the World Baseball Classic. Unfortunately, like if you go back and look at the videos a couple of days ago when we were all amped up and excited and we were so ready for it, all that's gone. And it's
For
all it's
you.
all it's all Aaron Judge's fault. It's all Bryce Harper's fault. It's all Mark DeRosa's fault. It's Nolan McLean's fault. It's Ryan Yarborough's fault. It's not Pete Armstrong's fault. It's not Gunnar Henderson's fault. It's not Roman Anthony's fault. It's everybody else's fault. And I hate that I'm this pedantic and pessimistic about Team USA.
I think if we get through and we are doing a pregame show for the quarterfinals, I think you will change your tune a little bit. I get the moment is the moment because we're living in real time. If I had to guess, I don't think we get it. I think something happens in the sense of like Mexico wins like 2-0, right? Because honestly, that's how the baseball gods would play it out because we don't deserve to get to the quarterfinals. But if we do, and this will be the last point of the episode, I know I'm gonna be as amped up as I was even before. Ryan, I don't think you will be as amped up, but I think you'll be a little more optimistic than you are feeling right now. But you do have every right to feel the way you do in this current moment.
Yeah, and it really it's just I'm never gonna not root for Team USA. It's not like if they get there, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, we should lose. We have no business being here." I'm gonna be a fan, and I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, let's win this." But you better fucking win the whole thing
Yeah.
if you get in. No more of this bullshit. Explode in the first 5 innings, then call in the fucking bullpen. I'm done with this shit. You better fucking win it if you get in, and I'm gonna stop before I explode again. But if you get in, you better fucking win it.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's just the game's at I think 8 o'clock tonight, Italy versus Mexico. It's gonna be such a weird viewing experience because obviously, like the normal baseball experience, is you're rooting for one team, win, loss, right? That's the name of the game. It's not like that anymore. So it's gonna be very interesting. And if they do get eliminated, we'll obviously do an episode on it. But I think the rage is here. The rage is in this episode. Before I was gonna say a 9/11 reference, but I'm not going to do that. Um, yeah, but whatever, man. Let's just see what happens. Go USA. That'll do it for this episode of Baseball for Maniacs. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure you're as pissed off as us. If you're a Dominican fan, if you're a team of Italy, clown us, dude. We deserve to be clowned, just like Mark DeRosa. And the entire United States fandom does as well, because this will be a black hole on the entire USA baseball community.
Absolutely. And before we sign off, just a quick update for the channel. Red Sox fans, tomorrow there will be an interview recorded with Red Sox beat writer Chris Cotillo, and that will probably be up either later that night or Friday morning. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to talk all things that we've seen Red Sox in spring training, and we're going to talk about how some of these WBC performances may impact the Red Sox going in to the regular season. But stay on the lookout for that. I'm looking forward to Mexico and Italy tonight. I'm probably going to be going back and forth between Venezuela and DR and that game because that game is going to be electric.
Yep.
But Owen, try your best to enjoy some baseball tonight. The rest of you also try your best to enjoy some baseball tonight, and I will catch you guys and you, Owen, on the next one.
Later, buddy.